Hey there folks, Foggy here. Welcome to day 133 of my year of solo board gaming. We've got a rather large game, as you can tell, because that's why there's no picture of me down in the lower left-hand corner there, and that's why there's nothing on the side here. There's just the picture of the game right up there. We've got a game here called In Too Deep. In Too Deep is all about mindjacking criminals in an effort to try to gather intelligence and evidence about them and foil their plans. And essentially, this game can end in a couple different ways. The idea, though, is that you are trying to make sure that you have enough evidence to foil the final plot, and you're trying to also gather the most intel. If you are the player that goes in too deep the most, however, you can end up losing a whole bunch of points at the end if the crime was foiled. If not, if the syndicate was foiled. If the syndicate wasn't foiled, you don't lose any points for your corruption. There's a number of different story beats that can happen at the end of the game. But it's a very modular game. It does take up a lot of space, as you can see. This is my entire gaming table, and it is a little bit of a bugbear to set up. But I'm going to go through how this game is set up bit by bit. We'll then go ahead and try to play a game. I'm expecting it's probably going to take about an hour. It's my third game attempt. We'll hopefully get through it all the way through. But we're going to start off with these city tiles that we've got here. These are the different sections of the city. There's nothing on the back, so you can shuffle them up. And you're going to arrange them into an octagon. All right, that's good. So downtown, Riverside, Parish, Blocks, Iron Heights, Skyport, Zanzibar, and the Towers. So we're going to try to position that right, so right smack dab in the middle. You're then going to place the Sentinel, which is this big thing with a star on it, right in downtown. You're going to place some blockades, one to the direct clockwise of the Sentinel and the other opposite it, so right there. You're then going to play three of these heat tokens. They're going to go in the blocks. They always go in the blocks. You're going to take two more and you're going to go one space clockwise. So in this case, it's Iron Heights. But had the blocks been over here, it would have gone here. And then finally, one more over here to the right of that. So it's going to go 3, 2, 1 in a clockwise pattern. You're then going to select the crime stories. There are 7 crime stories total, and each of them has exactly one level 3 plot. So what you do is you start with level 3, shuffle it up, select 2. We will not be doing A or G. And the rest of these can just stay like that. So we'll put A and G off to the side here. You're then going to go through 2 and 1. Now, in addition to the regular story cards that I've got out, there are a bunch of other story cards, all of which have a 4 or 5 player icon in the upper right. You're going to, for the solo mode and for 2 and 3 players, you're going to take that out and just put that off to the side. You will not need these for this version of the game. We're going to take the 2s. We're going to take the A's and G's out. There are 2 of each. And then we're going to shuffle the rest. I can shuffle. And we're going to repeat this process with the 1s. There are the same way. There are exactly 2 each of the level 1 plots. So once you got the 4 cards that you will not need, you'll shuffle up the rest and place them in a pile. So you should have 1, 2, and 3. And then finally, you'll have a bunch of greenback cards. These are side plots. Now, side crimes. These are basically minor crimes that you can help your criminals perform. It'll get you a little bit of evidence, a little bit of corruption. It'll help you with scoring and moving things along, but they do not have the same. You won't get the same amount of stuff as you do as completing a story crime. So those go there, and then we'll take all these and put them off to the side. For the solo mode, you will take the 10 criminal cards that are in the game, and then you'll select 4 of them. Now you can select 4 that you want to select, and you can just go with those, or you can randomly pick, and we're going to randomly pick here. I'm going to hope to get Scourge and Ghost, because I have not gotten Scourge or Ghost yet in any of the games that I've played. Same with the Mechanic. All right, Scourge, Persuader, drone jack, mechanic. All right, that'll work. Put the rest of those up there. And we'll put these cards up above. You want to make sure that their abilities are readily available to the players. The Scourge, once per turn, the Scourge controller may gain grip with a nearby criminal other than herself as a free action. The Persuader may spend an action to shift one nearby criminal one zone. This ability reaches through blockades, but he cannot move the affected criminal through one. So if the Persuader were here and the affected criminal were here, he could move the affected criminal this way, just not this way. Drone Jack may spend an action to shift or pick up one nearby loose item. This ability ignores blockades completely. And Mechanic, when controlling the Mechanic, you may consider her carried item to be the other type of item, other item of the same type for crime completion criterion. We'll get to some of those and what that means in just a bit. I'll put all these up here. We'll go ahead and take their icons, their little standees. Now, normally you would actually stand these up on the board, but instead we're going to lie them flat because that is going to work so much better for this top-down view that we've got going on here. I think one of the images is not visible, so we're going to scroll the entire screen over. Good Lord. There we go. Shows just how much space this thing takes up. And we're going to basically put them sort of each equidistant. You can just put them out randomly, whatever way you want to randomly assort them. And then we're going to take the items. There are 8 items and 8 sectors, and so as you might guess, 1 item goes in each sector. These are items that are helped to use to resolve crimes. You've got weapons, you've got transportations, you've got electronics, you've got resources. There we go. Now the mechanic's ability, what that means is that if the mechanic ability were holding, if the mechanic were holding this blue floating drone item, I think it's called, then in the crime required the coupe, which is this other blue one, then the mechanic would be considered to be carrying that as well. All right, so we've got that set up. We're going to grab 1 grip token for each of our characters, or each of our criminals. The colors can be a little bit on the confusing side. There's some similarities between some of them, but this should be correct. There's a blue and a light blue. There's a gray and a light gray. It's all a little muddy. And then we're going to select these hook tokens. We're going to select 1 of each color 3 times, or 3 of each color for the criminals that are in the game. That might have been a clearer way to say it. 2 are going to go for Echo, who is our solitaire opponent. 1 is going to go for us. Who's the other person that I'm missing? Yellow. Finally, you're going to take 1 color that's not used at all, and this is just in the solo mode, and it's going to go on one of these two blockades. Finally, you're going to take 1 set of hook tokens for yourself, 1 for Echo. They're going to go on your player card. Now, your player card has to be W, X, Y, or Z. There is a V that is used in the game that is solely if you're playing with 5 players. The last set of tokens are going to go on Echo's progress card. The solo player comes with this little progress card that allows them to allows Echo to make progress throughout the game. It also helps randomize up what her cards mean. So the hook tokens go on A, B, C, and D, and each of them will represent that particular criminal, and the cards reference A, B, C, and D here. Those will basically refer to these criminals. So it's one way to keep the game randomized. I'll go ahead and give that another quick shuffle. All right, next we're going to set up the evidence board on the criminal syndicate thing. We're going to set up the evidence board in the syndicate board. This is the syndicate board. You're going to put out a bunch of these yellow dossiers on any spot marked with a 2. So there's just 5 of them. If you were playing with 3, you'd go here. If you were playing with 4, you'd go here. And I think there's a different version of this on the back side. Chapter icon is going to go up there, and I'll try to remember to move it as we play the game. There are 6 evidence assignment tokens that come with this game. You're going to randomly select 3, and they'll go up here. Now, evidence is there are 6 different icons for evidence. What we've got here is we've got financing, timing, location. There is also ringleader, tactics, and weaponry. And you'll be gaining evidence in one of those 6 categories. And you'll be able to file some of that evidence away either to the chapter or to the final plot. And that's these 2 areas here, chapter and final plot. Then we're going to set up the evidence and boost board. Now for the boost board, you just simply take 3 boosts and you place them in the spots given. When they get refilled, you will refill them, but you'll also add 1 intel, which is the points in this game, to each of the spots clockwise from it. All right. Finally, we're going to take some evidence and add it here. Take this one. There are 4 rows here. You can flip this over. There's a different side for 5 players. But you'll fill up these first 2 rows with face down evidence. Trying to keep these somewhat shuffled. It is a bit difficult because there's a lot of evidence in this game. And then you're going to take 4 and you're going to place them face up. This is the evidence pool and this is the evidence plank. And there's a significant difference between the 2. All right. You're then going to grab 1 evidence for both yourself and Echo. So you can put yours face up. It doesn't really matter. I've got a tactics, which isn't that helpful up here. And then you're not going to be able to see what she's got. You're going to take 3 intel. Each of you are going to start off with that. You're going to put the progress marker here for Echo. And you're each going to get a level 1 crime card. You're not going to look at hers, but you can look at yours, obviously. And then finally, you're going to take a side crime just for yourself. You're not going to give one to Echo. That should be everything. Now, the goal of this game is to hook into criminals, gain control of them, and then move them around the city, committing these crimes that are on these cards, and in the process gaining an evidence and intelligence to help foil their plot. The primary goal is to end up with the most intelligence points at the end of the game. The way that you do that is that you either gain evidence, and that evidence is worth something. You gain intel throughout the game. You gain corruption cards. Now, these corruption cards will also help with scoring, and I'm actually going to show you some of them. There are... let's go ahead and just pull some up. There are ones that just simply have an intel value on them. So for this, I would gain 3 points. There are others that have certain types of intelligence on it. So depending on how much the weaponry and timing evidence is worth at the end of the game, this could be worth as much as 8 points for me. This could be worth as little as 0, depending on how the evidence shakes out. There are these wanted posters in the game. These usually come with high corruption. I think that's like 3 per wanted poster on here. But if you end up, like let's say you've got these 3, the amount of points you get is square the number of unique wanted posters. So in this case, you'd have 3 wanted posters that are unique. So you get the square of that, you get 9 points. Obviously, that can jack it up really quick, but you will get a lot of corruption for that. Finally, there are these star signals. For every 3 of them, you get to redeem those for 20 points. That can be worth quite a bit. So now we're going to go ahead and give these another quick shuffle. For the final plot, evidence will be stored either in this little bonus area here or in your individual locker. Now, Echo's going to use locker X. I'm going to use locker Z. And then over here, you can play an item into one of these spots here to get a bonus. Echo cannot do this more than once per turn. I did not see any such stipulation for the human player, but Echo can only do one of these at a time. Any subsequent evidence gets filed into her locker. At the end of the game, you're going to take all the evidence that's in here. And there are 6 different types of evidence. To foil the syndicate's plot, you have to have 3 each of 3 different types of evidence. If you do, you've foiled the plot. If you did not, you did not foil the plot. And the reason that matters is that at the end of the game, you're going to count up your corruption, and figure out who is the most corrupt between the two of you. And if you foil the plot, whoever is the most corrupt loses that much intel as part of the process. So if I've got 14 and Echo's got 17 corruption, and I foil the plot, Echo's going to lose 17 points in the process. So that can be a pretty big swing right there. To give you some idea of what the scoring was like, the scoring of my first game, which I played wrong, was like 100 to 70, and the second game was 66 to 67. So the corruption can really matter. When you're, I think the rest of this I'll explain as I go along. The steps of the gameplay are divided into 5 steps. The first is you have to hook a criminal. Now, if you have no criminals right now, you're going to go ahead and you're just simply going to pick a criminal. You're going to hook them, and ideally it's going to be one that can help you resolve one of these crimes. So if we take a look at what we've got. All right. You must be holding an item in a zone with exactly 1 blockade. The sentinel must be exactly 2 zones away. So Scourge could pick up this item and would immediately get this drop-off side crime completed. Tools for the job. You must be in Riverside with at least 3 items, and that is going to be difficult because you can only carry 1 item at a time. So we have to figure out some way to get 3 different items over into that sector. That's probably going to be a little bit more complicated and probably not something that we're going to do on this turn. You can use different abilities to move items. So for example, if I were the Persuader, I could move both of these items over here, but I would also have to then hook into this dude. So it's not really, it's doable, but it's not really doable. I think that's pretty much it. Those are the 2 crimes that I have available. Now you cannot do, when you replace a crime, and you replace a side crime, you will do so drawing from any of the decks. However, if you get a level 2 card, you'll have to have completed at least one level 1 card of the same letter. So once this is complete, I can draw this and get an E2 and complete that E2. Obviously, the chances of me getting an E2 are pretty slim. It's like 20%. Same with 3. For 3, you have to have completed a 2 in that storyline previously. Echo will replace their crime depending on whether or not there's at least 1 item from each crime up here. When crimes are completed, when story crimes are completed, they'll go up here. And if all 5 have a level 1, then Echo will start drawing from level 2. And if all 5 have a level 2, Echo will start drawing from level 3. And chances are Echo will never draw from level 3. But the progress bar is related to Echo's story. So right now, Echo just needs to get 3 progress to complete this level 1 story. Hopefully that is clear. This will become more clear as we go ahead and play. So I have a choice here. I can either go for the simple crime, the side crime, or I can try to do what I can about making this possible to complete on the next turn. Because the board state can change so readily, I don't know if it's really intelligent for me to I know what I want to do. I want to go in here. I want to pick up an item. I want to do the drop off first. I want to take care of that. The side crime, you'll find that Echo will basically complete the equivalent of a side crime every turn at least, and will make steady progress through the game. So it can be really difficult to keep up with Echo. And since I can't complete E1 right now, I'm going to go ahead and complete the side crime. So to try to do the side crime, I'm going to need to hook into Scourge. That'll be my first attempt to take over somebody. When you hook into somebody, you then gain grip. So we'll move that up 1. I then have 2 actions. The first action will be to pick that up. That's easy enough. And then as my second action, I can't do this, unfortunately. You can do one of 4 things. You can either pick up an item, you can move, you can use a zones action, you can use a character action. There's a 5th thing, and that is gain grip. Now, I can't use the zone action while there's still heat. I can't use the skill because to be able to use the skill, I have to have enough grip to have the character in the gray area here. Once the character passes into the gray area, then I can use their skill. Once I get them into the light blue area, not only can I get to use their skill, I can spend 1 grip to get action. So if I have a character that's here, I can spend 2 action, and that'll give 2 grip, and that'll give me 2 more free actions. So yay. I'm going to actually simply just go ahead and get some grip. The crime is now complete. Technically, I could have done this before I gained grip. I'm going to gain one of these 2 items. I'm actually going to gain... I'm going to take this one. This is a rarity for me to be able to get some extra cards. Now, anything that's pink, you're going to do right away. Anything that's blue, you can hold on to later. So this first one means that I get to draw 2 cards, and I think it has to be 2 side cards. Side crimes? Yeah, draw side crimes. So we're going to get to draw 2 side crimes. Ooh, and this is actually why. Oh, yeah. So one thing I forgot to do with this side crime is there's a red text here. Move the item to the other side of the blockade. I forgot to do that. So that's now over there. Oops. Oopsie. All right. We're going to replace this boost item. When we replace the boost item, you then add 1 intel to the next space clockwise. So when you fill 1 here, there's an intel that goes there. We've used that boost item. In addition to the boost item, we're also going to gain 1 corruption card, which in this case is just simply a 0 corruption. That's going to give me 1 intel at the end of the game. And then we're going to gain 1 evidence from here. Now, when you're gaining evidence, you gain 1 from the plaque and everything else from the pool. In this case, I'm going to gain evidence from the plank. I'm going to take this financing evidence. I get to file evidence. Now I could file it here, I could file it here, or I could file it up here. And I'm going to file it up here. I want to get this dossier filled in. All right, and then I replace this with any one of these. I'm going to go ahead and replace it with this one. Oh, goody, another one of those. And then that's it. I've completed my side. I've completed my turns with her. My other 2 actions are: you must be alone in a zone with an uncontrolled criminal. The zone must already have 1 blockade. Unhook from your criminal, hook the other criminal, and gain 1 grip with it. And then decoy: you must be holding an item adjacent to a zone with exactly 1 loose item. So that's why I was kind of excited there for a moment, and then I realized, no, that's not. You can't do both of them. But that is the end of my turn. We're now going to do Echo's turn. Echo's turn requires these that you use these cards. It's a small deck. It's like 8 cards total. Flip over the first one here. And you'll see that Echo's first action is to hook a criminal. Echo is going to hook the maroon criminal, which is the drone jack. And that will cause Echo to gain 1 grip. And then is going to try to move that criminal. And gets to move the criminal 3 spaces counterclockwise, ignoring blockade. So that person is now down there. Then we're going to roll both dice. Now, you roll once in Chapter 1, twice in Chapter 2, 3 times in Chapter 3. This means that they will move their C character, which in this case is Scourge, 1 space clockwise. And then finally, we're going to roll the black die 1 more time. The black die gets a lot of work in this. 3. That is an indication of how much progress they're going to make. They make 1. If you roll a 1, they make 1 progress. If you roll 2, 3, or 4, they make 2 progress. 5 or 6, they make 3. Right now, they're just going to make 2 progress. Now, if they get to the point where they have passed the number that's on their card, they get to try to complete it. Otherwise, they're going to complete the equivalent of a small crime. They're going to take a boost, and they'll take whichever one has intel on it. They do nothing with the boost, however. We get to replace that. And again, add in intel. They will get 1 corruption card. They will also get to take one evidence. They take it always from the face down. And they get to file one evidence. The evidence that they file is indicated on here. In this case, they would have gone to where the financing is, but since I've already filed into there, they're going to file down here. They will first file into a bonus slot, and then any subsequent evidence they'll file into their locker. So in this case, they file into the top bonus slot, and that means that they're going to get another boost. So they get one more intel, and we're going to replace that with intel. All right, so that is Echo's turn. Now my turn. Let's see. Scourge, this is a bummer because Scourge, if Scourge were over here, oh, actually, you know what I can do? I can do, yeah, I'm going to hook into the mechanic, I think. I'm definitely not doing a good job of completing Riverside here. Yeah, I am going to do this. I'm going to hook into the mechanic. I'm going to gain one grip for every criminal I currently have. So that means both the Scourge and the mechanic go up one. I can now use the Scourge's ability, which once per turn, I may gain grip with a nearby criminal other than herself as a free action. That means I can gain grip with the Persuader because I do not believe, and correct, I'm hoping I'm not wrong here, that it does not have to be one I control. So I'm going to, as a free action, I'm going to go ahead and use her skill. I'm going to use the mechanic and move here. The mechanic is now under eligible for hook jump here. You must be alone in a zone with an uncontrolled criminal. The zone must have exactly one blockade, which this is the case. Unhook from your criminal and hook the other criminal and gain one grip with it. So we are going to unhook from the mechanic. We're going to hook with the drone jack. Now, Echo already had the drone jack. That means that because Echo had the drone jack, I have to pay one intel to Echo, which is a bit of a bummer. That is now complete. Where did I put that? There we go. So that means I'm going to get a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to take this one, which means I also get the intel from it. We'll replace this. We're going to get one more corruption card, which in this case is a 3 corruption. It's got a couple different types of evidence on it. We're going to get one piece of evidence, which again we're going to take from here. We're going to go ahead and take one of these planning ones, and we get to file one. We'll file that up here. We then replace this like that, and that completes this particular side quest. Now we've only taken one action. That's pretty much just move from here to here. We've now got the drone jack under control, and forgot to gain grip with that character. And now I can pick up one of these items. Let's just pick up the gun. And now I have this side crime completed. I must be holding an item adjacent to a zone with exactly one loose item. I could have done that with Scourge. I could have done the same thing over here. We're going to do it with the drone jack. Swap the 2 items. So I'm swapping the gun for the electronics. That allows me to complete this crime, and I will get yet another bonus. And I'm going to take the hook because I think that'll be useful. I get one more of these corruption cards. In this case, it's a 5 corruption with 2 tactics on it. I'm going to get another evidence token. I'll take this one, and I get to file that. And so that is another crime successfully delved into. We're going to move one of these here, and it's another tactic. That's a lot of tactics. And I think that's the end of my turn. Now, I am getting nowhere with this Riverdale one. this Riverside one. I have to get 3 items over there. I can now at least use this boost token to move an item. I can just simply move an item over there. It's good. I'm fine. What I really need is some way to get... Oh, and I was supposed to take this as well. What I really need is some way to get another person over there with an item in their possession so that I can try to complete it. We're going to add one more intel over here. All right. But we're still got this E1 incomplete. We actually are now out of side crimes, so we have to have at least one side crime at the end of our turn. So we take this. It's called Raise a Ruckus. You must be in another criminal in a zone with no heat. Good to know. All right. Echo gets to go. Echo will attempt to hook the mechanic, and does so pretty easily. Echo will then try to move the mechanic. Moves it 1 space counterclockwise. Will then roll the dice. Gets a 4 and a 5. This means that they will move all of the heat over to Parish. Now, typically, when the way that the heat works is that when you do an action, like let's say I had Scourge do this particular action here, you would take 1 heat from each of these locations, move them into this new location. That's kind of how you rotate the heat around. In this case, when you get the Echo's action of moving heat, you simply take the area that has 3, the blocks in this case, you move it to the Parish. Now, if Parish already has any heat at all, like let's say they had 1 heat or 2 heat, you would then go clockwise until you found a location that did not have any heat. All right, so that's that. Let's see, they only get 1 action because we're still in round 2. They're going to roll the dice to make progress, which in this case, obviously, they will complete this because that will go right past that 1. So we take a look at their 1 card, their level 1 story crime. They are going to take the safe approach. This will indicate whether or not they take the responsible approach or the reckless approach. In this case, they're going responsible. They're going to get 2 intel for this. They're going to get 1 card for corruption. They're going to get 3 evidence, which they will take from the pool. They always take from the pool. They never take from the plank. And they will file 2 to this downstairs area here. So the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to take up this bonus slot. They just simply work their way down. That gives them 2 tolerance on corruption. And then they're going to file another 1 into their locker. And that is the end of their turn. We're going to go ahead and swap some of this out. I found that you want to really separate the ones from the intel that's not ones. It's pretty easy to work with these, the ones that are larger than ones separately, but the ones you draw so many of the ones that you really want to keep that as a separate thing. The crime is now complete. She is now going to place this up here as a completed storyline. We're missing A and G, so this is going to leave space for B, C, D, E, and F. Move that over a little bit. And when you complete a story crime, you also unhook from every criminal that you are currently controlling. And that's that. So now it is our turn, and we want to try to... So right now, if the chapter were to end, we wouldn't gain any points for this, but the Echo would definitely lose grip. 1 or 2 things can happen when you finish a chapter. When a chapter is over, if there are any dossiers remaining, the person with the fewest dossiers loses grip. Equal to, I think it's 2 in the first chapter, 3 in the second, and 5 in the first. I guess loses 5 intel. That's even worse. If this chapter is successful, if there are no dossiers remaining, you've managed to investigate all of them, then each of you will gain 2 intel for each dossier you've completed, 3 in the second chapter, 4 in the third. Right now, it's our best interest to just simply avoid the penalty for being in last place. So the fact that we do not have... The fact that we're in the bottom, or that we have more dossiers, and in fact she can't pass us as far as dossiers go, means that I think that we can just let that slide for now. We want to focus on trying to get one of these evidence things taken care of. And unfortunately, I don't have any real way to do it. because I don't think that there's anything I can... I could hook into the Persuader. And the Persuader would allow me to move somebody up to 2 spaces. But the problem is I can't hook into all 4. And what I really need is for this character or this character to get all the way over there. If I were to hook into the Persuader, I think I can do this. So I'm going to hook into the Persuader. That means I take their little thing from the center. Now, because I'm hooking into my 3rd criminal, I have to take a corruption card, which is not good. But I now have this character here. Now, they're going to use this action here. They're going to move a character 2 spaces. They will move the Dropjack 2 spaces. This means that I will take one of these heat tokens from each of the other zones and put that here. Now, 2. What I'm wondering is whether or not this would have triggered when this character passed through, and I don't think that's the case. Yeah, actually, so what I can do is I can just move them 1. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to move the Dropjack 1. And the reason that we're just going to move the Dropjack 1, which means I can actually also move one other thing. Oh yeah, I can use the other part of that action to move this here. There we go. All right. That's fine. That is hunky-dory. All right, so I've used 1 action so far. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? All right, back up for a sec. Let's come back here. I'm horrible about this, by the way, MacGuffining. Taking a MacGuffin, or whatever it's called. Mulligan, taking a mulligan. So first of all, I hooked into the Persuader. One of the things I forgot to do is actually advance everybody that is currently under my thrall. So that should have gone like that. The Persuader that is not going to help. Drone Jack I don't think is going to help either. What I'd like to do is be able to do both of these. And if I have the... So first of all, Scourge has got the free action to be able to actually boost somebody up. So I'm going to boost up the Persuader, I think. Get some free grip out of that. So my thought here is that I kind of want to get... Yeah, I think this is the way I got to do it. It is going to be this. It's going to be to move the Drone Jack 2 spots. All right, that's 1 action. So my second action, I will move to here, to Riverside, and then I'm going to use my boost to basically move an item to them, and I'm going to go ahead and move this other electronics here, and this allows me to complete Riverside. You must be in Riverside with at least 3 items. I am. Move one of the items into the first zone clockwise that has 0 items. Now, here's the thing. You cannot complete a story mission until the end of your turn. Now, it is the end of my turn. I do not have any other thing here that will work. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this. I am going to get... I can either track everything, which will allow me to file more evidence, but get me fewer intel points, or I can be reckless, I'll get more intel points, and I'll file less evidence. And I think what I want to do is I want to go for the safe approach for now. I'm going to actually trade in some intel here, trade in 3 there, and I'll take a 5 from here. going to get one more corruption card, and I'm going to get 3 evidence. I take 1 from here, and I take 2 more from here, which does not actually help me out a whole lot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to file this here, because I get to file 2. Actually, it's not really going to make a difference, is it? The chapter's almost over. That's going to go there. The chapter's almost over, and I'm questioning whether or not I should be filing down here, because we're not going to complete the chapter, it doesn't look like. We might. There's an outside chance that we will. Yeah, I guess I'm going to file here on the outside chance. And then we're going to take one of these, and we're going to go ahead and file this here. I'm going to get some free grip, and I will go ahead and advance the Scourge. I will then take this, I will place this up here, and I now have to unhook from all my criminals. I do not have a story card, so I'm going to take one from deck 1. I could take it from deck 2, but it's a very unlikely chance that I will get one that will work. E1. You must be holding the Scrambler alone in a zone with at least 1 blockade. Well, there's the Scrambler. I think I forgot to do... I did forget to do the tools for the job. Move one of the items to the first zone clockwise that has 0 items. So I was going to move this. Is that the Scrambler? That's not the Scrambler. Which means that technically is going to be met the moment I can. However, you can only complete 1 story mission per round, so it's great that it's there now. I also would have to hook into a criminal first, so there's that. All right. Yeah, I'm done with my turn. Now it's Echo's turn. Echo pulls a card. They are going to hook the Scourge. And that means they're going to gain 1 grip. They're going to move the Scourge. The Scourge is going to move 3 spots counterclockwise. They're going to take 1 action. They're going to make the blocks, the area with 3, heat. And then finally, they're going to make progress. I forgot to do this. I forgot to give them a level 1 story. I was forgetting to do that a lot in the previous version, in the previous game I played. They're going to move 2 forward. So because they only move 2 forward, they're going to complete this side quest thing, which means that they're going to take this boost. They're not going to do anything with the boost itself. They're just going to take the intel, then replace it, and we're going to add 1 intel here. They're going to get a corruption card. They're going to take an evidence. Now, there's no evidence in the pool. They're never going to take from the plank. They're going to take from the supply. The chapter's over when there is no more evidence in the pool. I'm just going to check that real quick. Actually, that will trigger the end of the chapter. So they're going to file into the top row. Unfortunately, the top row already has everything filled. So they're going to file down here. All the bonuses are filled. They're going to file into their locker. So that is the end of their turn. And that is also the end of the chapter. So here's what happens with the end of the chapter. We're going to take a look at the dossiers. We still have 1 up in the chapter, so this chapter was unsuccessful. The person who has the fewest will lose 2 grip. That means that pretty much they're going to lose almost all of their grip. We could choose to pick a different one, but we're not going to do that. I think one thing I forgot to do. So Echo moved 3 into the parish, I think. Yeah, we forgot to do this. Feel free to at me in the comments. So usually when you're moving 3 heat into a zone, you're not doing much of anything, but for Echo, except there are 3 spots where that you are doing something. So for the parish, they are getting some, more tolerance. For Iron Heights, they're getting an extra boost, and for I forget what the other one was. I think for Riverside, they're getting an evidence, but I'll look that up in a moment. But nonetheless, they're going to lose 2 grip. We're then going to get rid of this evidence here in the chapter. It's going to go back into the supply. We're going to replace all the dossiers. We're going to take the assignment tokens. ringleader this time. Financing. Weaponry. We are going to reset the evidence board. I still have not figured out whether or not I'm supposed to reset the evidence plank. And those are two different things. Yeah, it doesn't really say. Okay, no, it does say. It actually, so it doesn't, it says just fill in empty spots, so we're going to keep those there. And we're going to take 10 more of these, fill them in. It is tough to keep these random. That's all I'll say. And then we're actually going to bank corruption as well. So to bank corruption, you're going to take a look at your cards, and you have to choose, you are going to keep half of them rounding up. So I can get rid of 2 of these cards, I have to keep 3. And my choices are going to be based on how much is the point value up here, but also can I get any scoring opportunities out of the cards themselves. I'm going to get rid of these 2 5s. I think those 2 5s are definitely the ones I don't want to keep. The rest of these will go here, face down. For Echo, you're not going to look at their cards. She's got 3 cards, so rounded up, that's going to be 3. So we're just simply going to pick one card, and then that's going to be the card that they lose. We're also not going to look at what that card was that they lost. And that is the end of that. And I think at this point we are good to go. Also, one last thing. We're going to flip these over and clear the slots. And now we know that there is 1 ringleader, 1 weapons, 1 tactics already in there. The bonus slots are now available again. And now we're going to start chapter 2. Now in chapter 2, Echo is going to roll twice instead of once with both dice to do 2 actions on their card. So fun. But Echo was the one who ended the chapter, so I'm the one who begins the second chapter. Coffee. So now Echo. So I'm obviously going to hook into Echo, hook into the drone jack. That's going to give me some grip, because the drone jack. I mean, this is just complete. However, I also want to look to see if there's somebody else I can jack into, because I do have this jack token that will allow me to jack in. Now, unfortunately, the bummer thing here is that to complete the chapter, they have to be alone. To complete the Raise a Ruckus, they have to be somebody has to be in a zone with somebody else with no heat. So I can't really do both. I don't think I can get this one. I've not actually taken any actions yet, too. So that's something to keep in mind. The big problem is that I can't have Scourge be... Yes, it's the presence of heat over here that's making this difficult, to say the least. Yeah, I just don't see a way to really make this happen. To make both of these happen. I can get this easily enough. I just can't do anything with the side quest. I think I'm going to use the ability. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the ability of this location. I'm going to use Riverside's ability to gain some evidence or file some evidence. I'm going to file this into the dossier. Now I'm going to use my this action here. I've used one action so far. I did that completely wrong. I did that completely wrong, and I'm hoping that I'm doing this correctly now. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I think I just completely messed that up. I don't think I can use the hook. I'm going to just focus on gaining grip. Now, as far as gaining grip, it has to be, when you're doing it as an action, it has to be with somebody that you can control. So I'm going to actually do this with the drone jack and just simply gain some grip with them. That's the end of my turn. I'm not going to be able to complete the side crime. I'm going to be able to complete the story crime, however. You must be holding the scrambler alone in a zone with at least one blockade. That is very true here. Drop the scrambler. I can either choose to do the responsible thing, which will allow me to get some more evidence and file more evidence. I'm not sure that's really going to be that useful. Maybe it is. Or I can be more reckless and get the extra intel. I think I'm going to be safe. I think I'm going to go for 2 intel, 1 corruption. I'm going to gain 3 evidence. I'm going to gain this little star thing here, and then I'm going to gain 2 from the pool. I can now file 2. I'm actually going to go ahead and file both weapons and ringleader, and basically knock out their ability to file more evidence in those 2 rows. And then reveal that. And then that is all of this. This is going to go up to the storyline. I have completed a story mission, so I unhook from everybody. And that is the end of my turn. Echo's now going to go. Echo is going to hook into the drone jack and therefore gain some grip. They're going to roll and move them 3 spaces clockwise. They're then going to roll both dice twice. They're going to, first of all, move 3 heat to the Riverside. Riverside already has 3 heat, so we're going to go this way. Because they went to the parish, they actually get the benefit of that. So they're going to get to upgrade to 6 tolerance. It's a little disconcerting. And then roll again. 5 and 6. This time they're going to move the blockade that has their hook token on it, and they're going to move that 3 spaces counterclockwise. So 1, 2, 3. Riverside is now completely blocked in, and then they're going to roll this. This obviously will allow them to complete this story chapter, in which they will go with the safe option. So they're going to get 2 intel. So we're going to take away 3 here, and 5, and replace that with a 10. They're going to gain 1 corruption. They're going to get 3 evidence off of here, and they're going to file 2 to the shared plot. So they're going to get that first one there, and then share another one there. They are then going to, because they filled in that first slot, they're going to take this bonus, this boost, and get an intel out of that. Place that, and put 1 grip there. All right. I was also supposed to get one of these. And in addition, Echo gets one of these as well. Because we both completed story chapters, and B moves up here. But that is the end of Echo's turn. It's now my turn. I still have Raise a Ruckus, which is basically I need to have 2 people in the same zone with no heat. That is going to be tricky because I don't have anybody right now. Also, I must be in the towers with the cache in the opposite zone. So, towers is here. Zone is here. Oh, I can do this. I can do this very easily. The question is, can I do this in a way that allows me to complete a side crime as well? I don't think I can. I'm going to hook into the Persuader. I'll take the Persuader's thing. It means I gain grip with the Persuader. I also still have I don't have the Scourge, so I can't gain any grip there. I'm going to use their ability to move something 2 spaces. That's for the zone itself. So this is my first move. I'm moving the cache opposite. That means I take one of these from each of these zones, not like the way I did before, like an idiot. All right. Now that's 1 action. As my second action, I can't do this quite yet. I'm going to hook into the mechanic. Not that. There we go. I'm going to hook into the mechanic. And the mechanic, I'm going to have go 1 spot this way. Now, I can now Raise a Ruckus. You must be with another criminal in a zone with no heat. And that is the case. I'm with the mechanic, and the drone jack is the other criminal. Move the 3 heat group to this zone. Done. Any criminal in the zone controlled by another player must unhook and lose 1 grip. In addition, I also get to complete all these. So I get to take one of the bonuses. I will go ahead and take this. I ain't proud. That's probably going to come in handy. I'll get 1 corruption. I get to take 1 evidence. I will go ahead and take one of these. And I get to file 1 evidence. And I'll file this. And that completes that. Those are both my moves. I get to now complete the side mission because I have a hooked criminal opposite the cache. There's nothing that happens as a result of this. I can either smooth talk or, and we need to fill this in. There we go. I can either smooth talk or straight up bribery. And I think I'm going... Echo's not getting a whole lot of corruption so far. So I actually want to keep my corruption level low. We're going to go with 2, and that means that we're going to actually trade in 7, so that we get a 10. Trade in 8, sorry, then we're going to get a 10. And then we're going to get 1 corruption. We're going to get 3 evidence. We're going to take this one here, and we're going to get 2 more from here. Oh, good, we got the money. We get to file 2 more. We're actually just going to go ahead and do this. Because that's going to give us 15 intel. We've completed the chapter. That is huge. And then that is the everything there, and we can put this card up here. We're going to replace this here. And no matter what, this is going to be the end of the chapter. Echo will be ending the chapter on this turn. However, we're going to get our 15 intel from this, so that's huge. All right, so Echo gets to go. Oh, and we completed a story chapter, so we unhook from everybody. And I draw a new story chapter. This time I am going to go for story chapter 2. D2. Okay, that's good. D1's already been completed, so we can do that one. And I'm going to take a side crime. This is swipe. You and a criminal holding an item must be alone together in the zone. Take the item. All right, so that's going to be fun. All right, so Echo goes. Echo is going to hook into A, which is the Persuader, and gains grip. Then is going to figure out how much they're going to move the Persuader. The Persuader is going to move 3 this way. We're then going to roll twice. Echo will move the whatever this is 3 spaces this way. And then we'll make Iron Heights the area with 3. However, it's already got 3, so we'll simply move to the Skyport. Skyport is one of the areas where it does not get the action, so yay. This should have been down here. We should also not have flipped this over like that. That's a mistake. 4. They will go 2 forward. And this means that they will get 1 of these, which we forgot to fill in. Doing great. They're going to take this one. Go ahead and make sure that we fill that in right away. They're going to gain 1 corruption card. They're going to gain 1 evidence. There's no evidence here, so they're simply going to grab it from the supply. They're going to file 1 evidence. They're going to file. They can't file to here, so they will actually file down here, which is unfortunate because that means that they're going to get another tolerance. They're now up to -8. This is not good. But they did not complete this mission. And that's it for Echo's turn. We're now at the end of the chapter. Let's take a look at the chapter. We should have moved this down here at the beginning of the chapter. We have completed all of the dossiers, so I'm going to get 15 intel, and Echo's going to get squat. So I'm going to give myself 25 by redeeming 10. There we go. I think that math checks out. We're then going to replace these. These are going to go back into the supply and get replaced with dossiers for the last round. We're going to do the corruption cards. I've got 3 of them. I don't need to shuffle. What am I doing? Take those 2, get rid of that 1. Echo's got 2 corruption cards. This is what I mean. Like, Echo's definitely going to, I think, win on the corruption side of things because they've gotten so little corruption so far, and they've got -8. So I think my goal now is to make sure that this does not get successfully completed. Otherwise, I could be really hurt. What else? Oh yeah, we have to select new assignment tokens. What we could do is this. I'm going to roll some dice. 1 and 4. And then we're going to roll this again. 1. Nice random way of doing it. We need to refill this, so we'll go ahead and take this pack right here. Saw that. Try to give this some sense of randomness. All right. And I think that's everything. We're now on round 3. Echo will be doing this 3 times, the little white and black dice together. And this is going to be tricky. We are now at the point where we do not want the plot to be foiled. We actually want to be the one with the most corruption. So that's something to keep in mind. We're going to be going for points, not for evidence. We're going to be trying to do as much evidence up there as possible. But we are going to be the one who gets to go first because Echo was the one that finished the chapter. Now, what do I have? I have got, you must be alone in a totally empty zone that has 2 blockades. So technically that is true right there. Now, if I had Ghost, I could do that. Skyport, unfortunately, I can't do anything with. What I could do is I could move the Sentinel if I had somebody over there. And unfortunately I don't. The Sentinel's really far away. I don't have anything that I can do with that. I can also swipe. That will allow me to... Oh, I know what I can do. Can I pull this off? I don't think I can. Swipe will allow me to pick up a boost, but I'm not sure if I can get a boost enough for what I need. Because this will allow me to move the barricade to here. And I would need the Persuader to be in my thrall. I can get swipe. I can get swipe very easily. It's just, what do I do with that then? All right, so swipe, I'm going to hook into the mechanic. Give me a bonus there. I'm going to pick up an item. I've now met this criteria. No, because it has to be pick up an item. It has, the other person has to have the item. God, why do I keep messing that up with that one? I'll pick it up anyway. I'm also going to go ahead and get another side mission, I think. And I could gain 2 grip. That might be helpful. I think it's frustrating that I'm not going to be able to do either one of these. I'm going to go ahead and gain an additional item. I'll take that boost. Almost entirely so that Echo doesn't get that one bit of intel, but now this will allow me to boost everybody up by 1. Or 2 people up by 1, I should say. Alright, and that is both of my moves. Neither of these are true. And I think that's the end of my turn. So Echo will go. Echo hooks into C, which is Scourge. Has already got Scourge, but does get to also boost both of those folks up. Goes 4, so that's going to be 1 counterclockwise. And then we roll this 3 times. 2, it's going to move our dude here. What are you doing? Move that 2. Three, 4. That means that we're going to move the Scrambler 1 space counterclockwise. And again, 1 space counterclockwise. We're then going to roll to see if they complete their objective, and they are, because they've only got 1 space to go. They're going to take the safe approach, so they're going to get 2 intel. They're going to get 1 corruption card. Again, they're not getting much in the way of corruption. They're going to take 3 evidence and file 2. They're going to file 2 to the bonus area, which I forgot to clear out. So they're going to file 1 there, 1 here, and they're going to hold on to 1. They're going to get a bonus. They're going to take this bonus. And we're going to replace that. And that is the end of their turn. This is now completed, so they unhook from everybody. And because every story is represented up here, they will take a level 2. I'll reset down to here. So that's going to take them longer to get that next one. Christ. Persuader. All right, so I think what I need to do here so that I can get something going is I need to hook into the Persuader. So that's going to boost me up 1 there. It's also going to give me some grip there. I'm going to use the Persuader's ability. I think it's an action. Spend an action, yeah. They're going to move the Scourge back over here. I've now completed Swipe. And I get to take the item. I'm going to get a boost. And I think I want to look up what that hook one is. Yeah, it's not a good one. It's not a good thing to get by any stretch. I'm going to take this one because I kind of need the negative tolerance at this point. Plus I'm going to get extra intel out of that. We have to add 1 intel there. This is going to give me 1 of these, and I'll go ahead and take this tactics one. Go ahead and file this up here. And then that's it for that. Now, that was 1 turn. I still have a second turn that I can take. And unfortunately, she took the one that would have allowed me to move the blockade, which is really what I kind of wanted. I've got 2 people. Can I do anything with either of them? And I don't think that there is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on gaining grip. I cannot gain grip with the drone jack, but I can with the Persuader. So I'm going to move that up by 1, and that'll be the end of my turn. So I replace my side crime with another crime, and now go back over to Echo. Echo is going to mindjack the mechanic. So taking that away from me means that I get 1 intel back in return. So neener, neener. And then we're going to see how far the mechanic moves. It's going to be 1 space clockwise. We're then going to move the Persuader 2 this way. We're going to move Scourge 3 this way. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to move the Coop 1 space this way. Finally, they're going to make 2, Echo's going to make 2 progress, and as a result, just simply collect the side quest equivalent. I've got a big mess over here, don't I? They're going to get 1 more corruption card and 1 evidence, which they will then file to the top. Really, this should be over here like this. All right, and then that's the end of their turn. My turn, we're going to fill this in. You must be holding a weapon. No criminal may be in either zone. So I think what I want is I want to take the Scourge. That's going to allow me to push these 2 up by 1. I'm going to use one action. My first action will be to use this zone's ability to do 3 shifts total. And shift this 1, 2, and 3. I am now alone, totally alone in an empty zone that has 2 blockades. So this will be satisfied at the end of my turn. I will then use my other turn to drop this. I can drop it as a free item. I don't need to worry about that. Also, as a free action for the Scourge, I get to increase grip with somebody, so I will do that. I will then move this person here. Now that's all I can do with that, the 2 actions that I have. But I can spend 2 grip. I'll spend it on both these 2 characters to go 1 more forward and then pick up this item. That will satisfy protection. So now I've satisfied protection. I get 1 more corruption card. I will also get 1 evidence, and then I can file 1 evidence, and I will do this. I'm at the end of my turn. I have built a following. I can either go for intel or corruption. I may as well go for the bigger value one, because at this point I do not think that I will end up with less corruption. So I'm going to go for 8 intel. I'm going to have to take 3 corruption. And I'm going to get 1. So first of all, let's replace that. I'm going to get 2 evidence. I'm going to take 1 and that one. I'm going to file 1 up here. This way, at least, if the chapter does not get finished, I will not suffer a penalty. And if the chapter does get finished, I still have more points. And I think that's it. So D2 is now finished. That goes up here. We have successfully completed a story crime, so I unhook from everybody. That is the end of my turn. Echo gets to go. Echo will hook into the Persuader. The Echo will then move the Persuader 1 space counterclockwise this way. We will then roll this 3 times. First one is move this blockade 2 spaces this way. Next is to move the Persuader 2 spaces clockwise. Next, move the Persuader 1 space counterclockwise. That was a big fat nothing. And then finally 3. I rolled a 3. I'm going to advance this 2 spaces. Still is not completed 2, so they are going to get instead the boost that I forgot to update because I'm horrible at this, so they will take this one. They'll get a corruption card. This should have been filled in already. They'll take one of these. And they will go to the middle slot, which means that we will actually complete the chapter. And then that's it for their turn. All right. So we're still not quite finished yet, but we are pretty close. I should have taken a crime, a small crime, and I should have taken one of these. All right, so let's see what we've got. Let's see if we can actually get both of these done on this turn with what we've got. You must be in downtown. Both adjacent zones must have no criminals, no transports, and no electronics. So the problem is that that's downtown, but we've got a bunch of items all over the place. You must be in a zone with exactly 2 loose items. Move both items to the first zone clockwise that has 0 items. Okay. So can I do anything? I will complete the crime. I will complete the side swipe if I just simply take over the drone jack. That's immediate. I don't know if there's a way for me to get the downtown one completed. First of all, I still have not replaced this. I'm horrible. If I do take over transport, I can pick that up. And I can move one of these items around. The problem is I would then also need to have Scourge in my thrall, and I don't have Scourge in my thrall. think I can do this. I don't think I can get transport, but I'm pretty sure I can get the safe house. So I'm going to hook into Scourge. That's going to raise Scourge up by 1. I'm going to use Scourge's ability to boost this character up by 1, because it can apply to anybody, I think. And then I'm going to go ahead and move her 1 this way. It's my first action. My second action is to use this. To move this. Do I want to do it that way? To move this here. And then move this here. Nope, I don't want to do that. I want to move this here. All right, so that's 2 actions. I'm then going to use one of my actions. Actually, before I use that, I'm going to go ahead and use this boost to swap this and this. Yeah, this works. This works. So now I've completed transport. I'm in a zone with exactly 2 loose items. I move both items to the first zone clockwise that has 0 items. Now technically I could have done that before I swapped, but I wanted to get that out of the way because I want to just make sure that I don't have any electronics or transportation anywhere in there. But we're going to get a boost, and for the boost, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this one. First of all, it's got the intel, but second, I think I can use that to my advantage right now. We're then going to replace the boost. Put another icon there. And we're going to go ahead and do this now before we do anything else. We're going to draw 2 corruption cards, and then we get to return 2. And they could be cards that we already had drawn, just not any cards that are in our well. So that boost is now used. We're then going to get 1 more corruption card. We're going to get 1 evidence, which we have to take from here. We may as well just go for something that we don't think is going to be that common. Looking at this, I think I'm going to get that. And I don't think that there's a benefit to me filing evidence, and I don't think that I have to file evidence. Yeah, as far as I know, okay, so I do have to gain 1 item, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply this to here. Yeah, I'm going to up. Well, actually, no. I already know that I'm going to be the most corrupt, so I'm simply going to gain grip. All right. And that's everything for transport. Now, I've used both my actions, but now I can use 1 grip to move Scourge back over to downtown. And I think that's everything I want to do. Yeah. So Scourge is now back downtown. I'm in control of that character. There's no electronics, no transportation anywhere around here. I did forget to move these 2 items. These 2 items do have to go clockwise 1 spot. So that's something I should have done. I don't think there's anything else I can do. I don't think I've used Scourge's. I think I might have used Scourge's ability. It doesn't really matter. My lowest grip is going to be this spot anyway, which is pretty good. That's 14 points at the end of the game. But I am going to complete this. I am going to go ahead and go for the 8 here, which means I'm going to take this 10 back up here. I'm going to take these 2. I'm going to take a 20. I am going to get a whopping 3 corruption cards. Which, oof, that's looking nasty. I'm then going to get 2 evidence. And I should have taken that up earlier. So let's go with these 2. And just so that Echo doesn't get it, I'm going to take that. And that completes E2. Now, that means I also lose my hook with Scourge, and Echo is now going to go. Now, at this point, there's no way to fill these in, so this is technically the end of the chapter on this side. So Echo's going to get one more turn, and then that will be it. So Echo, we're going to actually shuffle. And I've found that in each of these games, Echoes, the game lasts about 9 or 10 turns. I might be playing something wrong, but that seems to be where it ends up. So Echo is going to hook in to the Drone Jack, which, by the way, means that Echo gets a corruption card, because that is what happens when you do that. And then they will move that up by 1. 3. So they're going to move the Drone Jack 3 spaces clockwise. We're then going to roll this 3 times. We're going to do... Who is their A? Their A is the Persuader. Comes back over here. Do that up there. It's a little bit less noisy. Over here. 1 and 3. That's the mechanic, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3. Then finally we'll make some progress. At this point, it's a given, it's a foregone conclusion. They will get up to the 3, which means that they will be unhooking with everyone at the end of this turn. They will follow the safe approach, so they'll go for 4 total, which means we can trade this in. We can actually trade quite a bit in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 10, and give them a 20 instead. They'll get 2 more corruption. They will get 3 evidence. There's no place from the pool. There's no more in the pool, so they'll get it out of the supply, and they will file 2. They'll file 2 to their locker down here, and that's it. So now we're going to do the end game. First of all, we're going to do the chapter first, since we are on this chapter. The chapter was successfully completed. Everyone who completed a dossier is going to get 4 more points. So that is going to be 8 for Monsieur Echo. Madame Echo, sorry. And then I'm going to get 12. So, yippee-yi-yay. And I don't think there's anything else up here. We are going to have to figure out our corruption cards first. This goes up here. So right now I've got a whopping 8 corruption cards. I'm simply going to take the 2 here. I'm going to take that 2, and I'm going to take that 1. Of these. The only reason I'm taking the 2 is because it's got 3 VP on it. And then this is 6, so we're going to shuffle this up. Take 3 and give that to Echo. All right. We don't worry about any of this other stuff here because we are, again, at the end of the game. We're now going to... Let's figure out what you'd think, having done this like 2 or 3 times. Score grip. That's the first thing that we do, is score grip. So I managed to keep all my grip pretty high. So I managed to end up with a grip of a very small number to read, 18 from the looks of it. That is a pretty dang good number. So I'm going to trade in these 1s, and I'm going to trade in this 20 and this 10. And I'm going to get a 50. Look at that. Look at that sweet number there. Poor Echo barely held on to anybody. So they're going to trade in some grip, some intel. All right, so they managed to get 3 out of that. Whoop-de-doo. Found out who went in too deep. All right, let's see how bad I did. So I managed to score 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, minus 4, 4 corruption. It's actually not bad. Yeah, they kind of 10, 16, 17, 9. They had 9 corruption. They actually went in too deep. Oops. Wow, that is a bit of a spread. I thought for sure I was going to go in too deep. All right, then we should find out if the final plot was foiled. Now, for the final plot to be foiled, we had to have 3 of these have 3 different icons. And right now we've got, this is what we got. So really it's going to come down to what are these unexposed ones. So there's one that has 3. There's 2 that has 3. Uh-oh. If this is a ringleader or a weapon, then our poor Echo is going to lose 9 points. Nope, tactic. All right, never mind. All right, so Echo does not face any consequences for us failing to foil the plot. Lucky Echo. All right, and then we start doing these scoring values. So this is the biggest stack, so we're going to put that there. This is the next biggest stack, so we're going to put that there. These 2 are each going to score 2. And these 2 are each going to score 1. All right, and let's start scoring these. So first of all, the ones that are just simply intel value, we can just pull those aside. That is going to score 6 points total. I don't know why I keep putting this thing up here. Let's keep it down here. You know you need it down here. I don't have any wanted posters, and I only have one of the star sigils, which is a bummer. Those can be worth a lot of points. So then it's these cards plus whatever intel I have, whatever evidence I have. So I'm going to get 4 for this, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 19, 22, 24. Trade this in for 1 to make that 25. We'll trade all of this in to get a 50. There are no hundreds, which is a shame. Okay. But those are all my evidence tokens. Finally, we're going to score Echo. Echo had one of these star sigils, which does not do any good. You have to have 3 of them to have a benefit. And then it's all evidence stuff. So let's count up their evidence. So let's see, it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 18, 21, 23, 24, 26, 32. So it's scoring 32 off evidence, which is a lot. But ain't enough. And this is where Echo ends up. We're going to we don't need to trade these in. You can see which Echo got. So Echo managed to get a total of 64. I managed to get a total of 106. So not even really that close. Now, the one thing I'll note is, of the 3 games I've played, I'm not because I'm just learning how to play this game, I'm not sure if there was much of a difference in the tactics I used, or how much of it was just simply luck of the draw. Because there does seem to be a bit of a luck factor with Echo in terms of the total corruption gained and in terms of what gets filled up here. It does go quick, and I feel like part of the thrill of this game is probably like playing until you actually get to some of the 3 levels. In none of the games I've played so far were we even close to Echo getting level 3. Like, you'd have to get a level 2 in each one of these, and Echo was pretty much just like we were 2 away from that one, so we might have done it, but the evidence pool just goes way too quick for that to be the case, which is a bit of a bummer. I'd like it to last longer, strangely enough, despite the fact that this was a pretty long game. It feels both weirdly too long and too short at the same time, but I like the game. I really like the fact that it does. I think Mike DeLisio in his review referred to it as like having a little puzzle on each turn. Each turn is a tactical puzzle, and that is true. Each turn is a tactical puzzle. You are essentially trying to figure out if there's a way that you can complete both your side crime and your story crime together. I kind of want there to be like one more round, or something to last a little longer, or like an extra row of evidence, something along those lines. Like I said, it's both weirdly too short and too long at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. But that is it for this particular game. I will see you all tomorrow. I will be coming back with a smaller game, so I will be on screen. And until then, ciao, everybody. Thank you for joining me.